Hi guys, I thought I would re-record the last video I made, kind of awkward. It was an older one, so I thought I'd kind of go along the lines and make a better one. So I did best and worst paranormal experiences. So I'm going to remake that. I'll start it with the best like I did last time. Best one was I had a member of my family that passed away at a young age, and I was at a young age too, and I didn't really know until later in my life, and it really became a big part of me, and just kind of happened like that. And once I found that out, I went out trying to find information and go off on that. And my cousin brought me to the conclusion of the Ouija board, and we talked to her for a little bit, and people say that it really isn't a person, it could be something bad recreating it, but there's just some stuff that no one would really know, kind of personal stuff, and for me it was kind of, I wasn't sure if it was like heartbreaking or if it was it was just so overwhelming. And I get a lot of questions on like Facebook and Twitter and Tumblr or whatever about stuff that has happened, and so I thought I'd start out with that, and that was probably the best one. Like, we were using the Ouija board, and we were in my room with me, my cousin, and my cousin's friend, and she died in a month where a flower blooms that it looks like it's snowing, and it was snowing in my room when we started talking to her, so that was kind of heart wrenching for me. It just meant a lot. Like, oh wow. And then my worst was probably when I went to an old school, and now it's abandoned because they shut it down due to but it burned down on the exact same date for I think 4 years, and they built the school in late 1800s, pretty old, and it burns down every 4 years, exact same day. I'm not sure about the time, but same day. And we went down there, and we used to always we used to always play with the Ouija board or whatever, and we met a girl named Lucy. Ooh, and she wasn't very good, not a very good spirit or whatever, and she stayed with me for a few years, still there, and just wasn't very good. And I thought she was good, but my friend is sensitive to that stuff, and turns out she wasn't. So she grew on me, and she used to always knock at my window at night and freak me out. I was like 9, and so she kept knocking on my window, and it was scary. Don't even know what to say after that because I don't like talking about it, but I thought I'd document it. So she'd do that, and then this boy would always message me and be like, "Hey, she's knocking on your window, heads up," and then something would knock on my window. And I lived in an abandoned jail. Basement still sells there, but it was a storage unit where we put our stuff. And one time I went down there and I got locked in there, and lights out, everything, super scary. I've had a few experiences in that basement. Like, me and my friends, group of them, went down to use the Ouija board again, and when we started using it, the doorknob started shaking and it fell off. I know there's been a few skeptics, well, a lot of skeptics that have heard stuff like this and don't believe it, and I was too. But then when you see it, you're like, well, let's believe that because not really a good explanation. So after that happened, I seemed to get more into it. Like, it was kind of, I really liked doing it because it kind of set me on edge. But I used to be asleep at night and you'd see figures dash, and for a few minutes it just go on and dash back and forth, and stools would flip over, and then I still get this feeling, like, hard to explain, but if you felt the feeling, you would feel scary. It's not even scary. It's just like it's cool, but it kind of sets you on edge a little bit, and that's one of the worst ones for me because it freaks me out a little bit. But there are a lot of experiences I've had. Like when I was littler, I used to go to my nanny's house and I wouldn't go in the basement because I saw some stuff that freaked me out a little more than it should have. Or I'd go places and people would look at me. Well, some people like there was something behind me when there was nothing. I always had negative energy around me, and it was kind of overwhelming for some people. And I've lost a lot of friends, but I've made a lot of good connections with people through what has happened or what continues to happen. It's kind of weird, but stuff like that can kind of. I don't even know how to explain it honestly. This video isn't any less awkward than the last one I made, so bear with me, YouTube.